Well, today we are going to be talking about nurturing your database. And Lauren, on a side note, like I know this is our topic today, and I've already sent you questions, but if there's anything you think is important to add, that we just had an amazing couple days in Fort Lauderdale at Lead Up, the Jeff Glover Leadership Conference. I don't know if that's what you would call it.
Yep.
It was phenomenal. So if there's anything you want to add from that as well. So I know everyone on the call knows who you are, but we will record this. So if anybody ends up watching that doesn't know who you are, could you give a little quick introduction of who you are, how long you've been in real estate?
Absolutely. So I'm Lauren Baker. I'm now with Keller Williams Living. Been in the business for, I think, 10 years now. Started off as a solo agent with a very, very small brokerage. And then is really, so what happened, the whole story is that one of my really good friends ended up buying a very nice home. And the brokerage that I was at, I sat there and I thought, I'm never going to get this where I'm at. So I pretty much picked up my license immediately and called the Keller Williams office in Menor and switched my license over. So I was licensed in October and I was switched over to the new brokerage by December. Immediately got into Ignite, and then from Ignite got into Bold, and then from Bold got into MAPS group coaching, and then eventually got into the one-on-one coaching through MAPS. Stayed there for several years, tried to really like drink the KW Kool-Aid, as they say. But I feel like it had so much benefit. It changed the entire trajectory of my life. Just that positive thinking and the different mindset. And so I'm very, very grateful for all of that. And then when COVID hit, I actually ended up switching over to Remax for about 9 months. It was for a hot minute, and then honestly came right back over to KW because I love you people. So
Aw, we love you as well.
and then from there, we just honestly, I really started tapping into the Glover U world. And so I'm a huge part of that at the moment and currently coaching with Kathy over at Glover U.
Who is incredible.
She is. She is.
Is. Okay, so today our topic is how top producers are nurturing their database. So Lauren, I have had the privilege of talking to you more this past week, and I know that you nurturing your database doesn't just start with nurturing your database. I think you are somebody who like win the morning, win the day. So could you share with us what your morning routine is to get us kicked off?
Absolutely. So I would say the morning routine, the first thing I do is I get up and I kind of get my morning drinks in. We started doing like an olive oil, honey, and lemon, which is really good. So I just try to do a couple of things to like kind of get everything moving. And then from there, in all honesty, I go right into a workout. So it's workout clothes. It's whether it's a Beachbody workout program that I'm currently doing, yoga, a combination of both. And then from there, so I would say that morning routine is definitely, it's a variation of A Miracle Morning. I don't know if you're familiar with that book through Hal Elrod.
Yep.
If not, it's an amazing book. I would highly recommend you go read it. And then depending on my day, because I also have 3 kids, so it could be meditation. So I follow a girl on YouTube. It's Boho Beautiful. I absolutely love her. So I do her yoga, and then I'll also do her meditations. And then sometimes I'll even pop into the Bible app, and then journaling, visualization, affirmations. And all of that kind of depends on how much time I have in the morning, because then it depends if I've got to run kids to school and what that schedule looks like if they're in school,
Mhm.
all that good stuff. So I would say that's probably like the internal working on me morning. And then after I get the kids taken care of, I then write my scripts. I have a role play partner. I have 5 different role play partners each day of the week across the country, because I'm also doing the 75 hard through Glover U right now. And then lead generation, which would include your for sale by owners, expireds, database calls, and circle prospecting. So that's kind of my call list in a day.
Wow. When you are lead genning, do you keep your time frame sacred, or is it just as your day happens, you lead generate?
So I do my best to keep that time sacred. And so I've been working on setting the boundaries around me to make that sacred. because I still have 3 kids and I still get the text message of, hey, mom, can you bring me a sweatshirt? Hey, mom, can you add lunch money to my account? Hey, mom, I don't want to be in school anymore. Can you come pick me up?
Hey, mom, I forgot my Chromebook.
Yes, yes. And so my day sometimes does get shuffled, and I do my best to keep that time as sacred as possible.
And what is that time? Have you said 9 to 11 or did I make that up?
Nope. So 9 and 11 really doesn't work for me, in all honesty, just because by the time I get the kids to school and I get home, it doesn't. I'm probably more of like a 10 to noon or a 10 to 12:30 girl.
I so appreciate you saying that, Lauren, because I have always, when you look at these sample schedules of what top producers are doing, or this is what you need to do, it's lead gen from 8 to 10, or it just doesn't work for me. And I will tell you, even hearing Kathy at Lead Up, she lead gens in the afternoon, and it like blew my mind. It doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. It can be, it's life by design, however it works for you.
Yes. And Kathy actually had me calling expireds between like 4 and 6, or she's like, honestly, Lauren, she goes, pick a couple days a week. She goes, do it from 5 to 5:30. Who cares? Just pick up the phone for 30 minutes. I probably got more contacts in that half an hour than I did trying to lead generate in my should be time in a day. And I also found that people were home, they picked up more. The other thing too that was really cool with Kathy is as somebody who's taken Bold 8 times, I had it in my head that if I didn't make my 20 contacts that day, I was failing, right? I didn't hit my 100 contacts in a week. And so I have let this like rule my life for years, where what I do then, so I'm going to lead generate, right? And then all of a sudden that email comes in and that text message comes in and the kids need me. And then all of a sudden it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. And I'm like, son of a gun, like I didn't get my stuff in today. And so at that point I feel like I failed, and then I've sat there and then I've piddled doing other things to make myself feel busy, in the sense because I didn't get that contact in, and then I waste the day. So in a solution to that, Kathy kind of said, all right, Lauren, all right, what's our goal? Let's say 400 contacts in a month. Okay. She goes, what days are you actually working out of the month? So for example, I think in the month of April, I think I listed out, or let's even just do March real quick. So I've got my calendar is what I do. Give me one
And it
sec.
looks like you're a paper calendar gal. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes. Okay, so in the month of March, I had 22 working days because kids stuff. I've got kids appointments. I travel. I like to travel back and forth between Ohio and Florida. I don't always get to do my contacts 5 days a week. So in my calendar, I literally write down what days I'm working, take that number, divide it by 400. For me, it came out to 30 contacts a day. Maybe it's 22 contacts a day. And I can get, yes. So that also took that pressure off of me of every day saying I have to get my contacts in, or I didn't win the day. The other thing that I really, really liked about this is that it gave me the permission to say, I'm at Disney this week with my kids, and it's okay because I know that I'm going to make it up later in the month. It's fine. And also being unattached to the outcome of the lead generation, because that was the other part of this is I would get frustrated because I would lead gen and then I would be like, son of a gun, I just wasted my time. I didn't get anything out of this. And what Kathy really explained was it's not about always setting the appointment. Like that's the goal, but maybe you generated a lead. Maybe you didn't get anything out of it, but it's the energy that you're building around that daily activity that then all of a sudden that person shows up from, the grocery store where they're like, hey, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I bumped into you because I need to sell my house. Hey, I'm at a house right now that you have listed. Can you come show it to me real quick? And then it turns into 2 sales. But it's that activity and that energy that you're creating that then leads to that success.
That is, I hope if you are on this call, you are writing that down. That is such good advice. And it's the age old, I think they always say, and maybe I'm butchering this, but action breeds reaction.
Yes.
So even if you weren't attached to the, you know, say you're not attached to the outcome and you had a day that you spent 2 hours and you didn't get anything, but the activity, like that energy you're putting out there, you are taking action, it will come back to you.
Yes.
So nuts and bolts, I'm just curious, do you use a CRM and or an Excel sheet, whatever it may be? How do you keep your database organized?
Yep. So we currently use Brivity.
Okay.
So we use the Brivity CRM, and then we organize everybody in our database through tags in the Brivity system. Then from there, so we tag them, and then once we have a conversation with them, it all gets logged into the CRM, and then I put in a task. So it's to follow up on this date. And then that's pretty much how we're working our system at the moment.
That's awesome. Do you do, I have heard you mention before that you are a D2, DT, D2.
D2, yes. We do
Is
do the database.
that a system you are still implementing?
We are, for the most part, yes. Is it perfect? No. Do we implement it? Yes. So
Mhm.
what that may look like is, so Jessica is our full-time executive assistant, and she is absolutely amazing. I don't know what we would do without her at the moment. So Jessica will send us at the beginning of the week our list for our DT, D2. So I can have it printed, or I can literally just go into the CRM. I can pull up my A's and W's, and I just make the calls.
That's great that she has it. And you know what, when you said not that we're perfect at it, I was listening to, if you guys don't follow the Millionaire Real Estate Agent podcast, it's actually really, really good. And Robert Lucido's on it this past week. And he even said, you know, we're always looking for new lead gen opportunities and don't take advantage enough of the opportunities that are already there. So I know the reason DT-D2 was created is so you, it's to take care of call bias, like just go through the A's and W's. However, I guess I would also add to that, if you only have a half hour of lead gen time that day, call the people you know are going to pick up, or that's a warm, it's okay to be selective and double down on the people that are important.
Ooh, here was the other cool thing that Kathy and I came into agreement of. She goes, Lauren, if you call your database and you leave a message, she goes, contact. Yes. I'll take.
Oh, that's good to know. I really
They
like that.
already know me, like me, trust me. So why not? So if I even if they don't call me back, it's just a, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing?
Yes,
Just wanted to touch base. Just wanted to check in. Just wanted to reach out.
that's
Hey, I
really
drove by your house. Hey, I remember you said you were doing this update. How is that going? Something simple.
Oh, that's so good. I like, and it makes sense. If they already know, like, and trust you, of course that should be a contact.
Mhm.
Same as, I don't know if you do this, and sorry, I didn't send this question to you, but do you count even on social media? I mean, it is huge. Like if you reply to somebody's story or comment on their post, you don't count that as a contact? Okay.
I do not. Nope. But if I were to send them a direct message and they responded back, yes. If I send them a text message and they respond back, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I would
Right.
consider that a contact.
Good to know.
Okay.
So do you treat any groups in your database differently? Like, do you have a top 25 or a VIP or a past client?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So we originally got database heavy. So one of my couple of my core values would be authenticity, and it was also connection. And so I really, really struggled with calling my database and just asking for business because it felt wrong for me. And so I had to come up with a way that that I could reach out and it felt good. So we originally started implementing a program called Perk Your Sphere. So that's PERK. And it was written by a KW agent up in Washington by the name of Liz Johnson. And so what that program was you would basically determine who your top people in your database were, and then you would do a monthly giveaway. And so it was kind of like a first come, first serve. Then if they sent you a referral or they call it an introduction, you would then send them a $10 Starbucks gift card. You would renew it for 6 months. If they sent you another referral, you would then put another $25 on. My problem is I was actually had a lot of young guys who wanted like a ranch with an outbuilding on 5 acres that for 160,000. And they're like, Lauren, come on, we're not going to Starbucks. I was like, all right, fair enough.
That's so funny.
And so we ended up revamping that program a little bit because what I was finding is that we were having the same people respond over time. And so then it kind of just became a pain in the rear to try to meet up with that same person, and it just kind of got a little complicated. So now we ended up taking the Systems of Real Estate class through Glover U by Taylor Kerrigan, and it was absolutely amazing. So Taylor in that class shares her entire database plan. And so Jessica and I sat down at the end of last year and said, okay, let's wipe out let's wipe out our PercuSphere program. We basically modified it, and now we follow the Glover U thing.
Okay.
You want the tip? Do you want to know what we do?
Yeah. Do tell.
I will. Okay. So we call our database and we do the I have a goal script. Now, the other script that I love that I would just call and I would just say, hey, it's Lauren, your realtor, Lauren Baker. I was reaching out because we want to make sure we have you all taken care of for next year. And so I was just curious, what real estate plans do you have in the coming year so I can keep you on my radar? That was my one call that I would do, or
That's great.
I like that.
I do
That's
too.
great.
And it was just an easy touch because it's like, hey, I just want to make sure you're taken care of, no pressure. And they would say, oh, no, we're good, we're good. And I say, fantastic. Do you know anybody else that's looking to make a move so I can make sure we've got them, that we can stay in touch with them? And then Glover U has the I have a goal script. And let's see here. I probably have it on me, Jill. Hold on one second. But basically, I pretty much know it. So basically what it is, it would be like, hey, Jill, it's your realtor, Lauren Baker. Do you have a moment for me? And you'd be
Hey,
like,
Lauren, sure.
yeah, great. So I actually have a favor. So I have a goal to help X number of families in Northeast Ohio this year. And I was just curious, who do you know who's looking to make a move that I could help?
Oh, actually, my neighbor might be moving.
Oh, fantastic. Your neighbor. So are you close with your neighbor?
Yeah,
Cool.
moderately. When my dog doesn't run into their yard.
Okay, fair enough. Would you do me a huge favor? Would you be able to maybe send me her contact information? I would love to reach out to her and just see, what they're doing so we can help them. Is that something?
Absolutely.
Perfect. And then I would follow up with you and make sure I got that contact information. Now, if you said no and you're like, nope, I don't have anybody, I say, okay, great. Thank you so much for thinking about that. By the way, is there anybody from work, church, relative, anybody else that you can think of that might be looking to make a move? You're like, nope.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. I appreciate you taking the time for that. And let me ask, quick question. When do you plan on moving?
Ask my husband. I think he's on this call.
And so then from there, you would, if they want to move, you would obviously dig deeper into that conversation. If they're not looking to move, you would say, okay, great. I completely understand. And, it studies, most likely you're going to run into between 5 to 7 people this year who are looking to make a move. Could you do me a huge favor and send me their contact information when you bump into them? And so Jay Fischetti did this on our script call the other day, and I thought this was genius. And the reason why is because now I've put it in their head, they're going to run into 5 to 7 people this year. And when they do, send me their contact information. So now I've put that in their head, like that, the RAS as they call it.
Yeah. That is a really good, same thing. I feel like when you're on the phone with somebody, say they're not interested or not at this time, or no, they don't know anyone. Okay, great. Do I have your permission to follow up next month? And that's another thing you're putting in their head to, hey, I'm going to call you again. So don't be annoyed when I do. I'm just doing my job. Exactly.
Yes. Yep. So that's probably the one thing that we do would be call. Jeff does a year in review letter. So they mail it and they email it. We actually did that this year. And so there
Oh.
is some, I could probably send if you want, I could send you with the content in it. I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but there are 3 or 4 things, and Jessica actually put it together for us. She did a phenomenal job. And then we also email everybody that bought a house with us for the previous year, their settlement statement for tax purposes. So it's just an easy touch. Hey, guys, I just wanted, here's your information for when you do your taxes.
That's a really nice touch.
And then we did a VIP box this year. So we just sent it to a couple random people, maybe people who had sent a couple referrals or people who we thought that would send something or out something of value. So they actually got a celebration New Year's box. And I'm not sure where Jessica got them from or where she did it, but we had people loved it. In fact, my one friend, Jen, actually unboxed it on social media for us. And she did a
Oh,
huge shout out to us, which was
yeah.
super cool.
What kind of stuff do you put in that, Lauren?
So this one, I think it just had 2 wine glasses or champagne glasses, and it had a bottle of champagne, and it comes in like a little box with fun stuff. So I honestly, I don't have a lot of time in a day. Like my kids go to school by 8 and I've got to pick them up at 2:30, which does not give me a lot of time in my day. So I try not to put that together. So Jessica has a company that puts it together and then mails it out.
Oh, cool.
So I
That's a
don't even have to
great
try to,
leverage.
I just don't have time to box something like that.
Yes, for
So trying to
sure.
make it as easy. And I want to say we did 2 boxes cost me $100.
Okay.
So I think there's different boxes that you can do. So if you wanted to do, 4 at 25, if you wanted to just do a couple, whatever is in your budget.
Yes, that's great. Michaeline, you were just talking about your VIPs yesterday. That would be a good little add-on for
I
you.
know. Yeah, it would be great.
Absolutely. And then
Love
if you
that.
can have a side conversation, I'm more than happy to do that because I can give you the information. Jessica, I'll have you get in contact with Jessica.
And
Good.
I think the purpose of that too is, and the reason a VIP group or a top 25 is so beneficial is because it's something you're doing special. Like you can spend a little more money on maybe 10 people than you do for your whole database.
Right.
And it could be 10 people that have bought from you or 10 people that you know are probably going to refer you somebody this year. I
Mhm.
think I love that.
And then obviously we've got our social media. So Jessica does pretty much all of our social media at this point. I'm trying to get better and I need to start doing videos. So I just need to get my face on that camera. I'm
Mhm.
still a little camera shy and something I'm working on. I tried to post from Lead Up and I'm working on it.
Lauren, you and me both, we need to hold each other accountable.
Absolutely. But
I-
that includes like the monthly market update. We do just listed, just sold. Jessica will put a post together with all of our solds for the previous month. She does an information post, a testimonial Tuesday, who do you know? And then we also have 3 Facebook pages essentially. So we've got our business page. And then we've got a local insight for just Jaga and Lake. I actually don't let realtors into the group. It's just for people wanting to know about real estate in Lake and Jaga County. And then I've got our MVP group. So they're our most valued partners. And then those people, that's where we do all of our giveaways and everything too. So we'll go in there. So for example, in March on 3/14, we did Pie Day. So we did a post of where's your favorite pizza place and what's your favorite topping? And we sent out gift cards, like $25 gift cards to 4 or 5 people.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So Jeff, I think, does
Mm.
National Margarita Day.
Mhm.
And Jessica just sent me the list for the second quarter of what we're gonna do. But we just try to make it fun and we have engagement then within the group. And then we also host a couple events. Every year we do our pie event, which is in November. We always do it Tuesday before Thanksgiving. We give away a pumpkin and an apple pie. At this point, I've capped it at like 200 because pies are getting expensive.
Yes, that is true. Fun fact though, if you have a Sam's or a Costco membership, I swear they're like $8.99 and
Not anymore.
they're not.
No, no, they're like 12 or 15, I think now.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
they're
know.
expensive.
Yes, because we looked into it. Even
Mhm.
our guy, I think, is now at $12 a pie.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
remember with the first year we did it, it was like $6 a pie.
Yeah.
No,
Inflation.
yeah, for
It's
sure.
just like home prices. Uh, so Lauren, what do you do? Let's see, for the sake of time, which one do I want to ask you? Actually, like, I love this last question I sent you. If you could tell our listeners on the call one thing, and whether it's about database or whether it's about their business in general, one thing that would help their business, what would it be?
Consistency, hands down. It's
Mhm.
consistency. So it's consistent in role playing. It's consistency in writing your scripts out. I'll be honest right now, like I've got our entire team writing out all the NAR scripts right now because I'm trying to wrap my head around it as well. And I want to make sure that we're prepared for it. And I love that Jeff, one of the first things out of his mouth was for these NAR things was stop talking negatively about it. This can be
Yes.
an opportunity, and we really need to start presenting it that way. So I feel like for us and on our team, we really need to understand it. So when we go into these appointments, we can explain it properly and help everybody to the best of our ability.
Without a doubt, that is such good advice. I loved that he said that too. And a reason being, he said, behind it, same thing why you don't want to make fun of a Zestimate or
Yeah.
anything, because you have no idea who you're offending. And here's the thing with Zillow, whether it's right,
Right.
wrong, or indifferent, people use it, and when you make fun of it, you're making fun of your clients,
Yeah.
who are probably using it. So I think that's so smart. One other thing I'd love to point out when you said consistency and you brought up scripts, you talked about in your morning routine that you scribe, like you actually are writing out your scripts. I think, has that helped you write it out?
I mean,
That's
this is like,
awesome.
I've got front, back of all of these. These are just the NAR scripts.
Wow.
Just internalize them that much. And I will probably rewrite these all week, in all honesty.
It's interesting too, because once you do that and you start to memorize, even if you're not a pro on the NAR settlement, these scripts help you be familiar. And the more you can write them out, it's going to come across naturally when you're talking to somebody.
Even that goal script, I don't have that in front of me right now, but we've practiced it so much at this point. And then you pick up those little tidbits from people that you wouldn't have picked up from, like that Jay, putting in that 5 to 7 people this year. Like, because before I used to just say, hey, if you know anybody, would you send them my way?
Yes.
Now
that
it's
is-
more like, you're going to bump into these 5 to 7 people. And when you do, please, will you send me their contact information? Because if they're anything like me, they're going to forget to call or they're going to lose my card. So I just want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which was huge.
Oh, Lauren, I just appreciate you so very much. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask or send something in the chat. Lauren, would you be so kind as to put your maybe email address in the chat if anybody has questions on database management?
Absolutely.
They could ask. And I'd also like to take a poll if you guys say database or database.
I love you.
Because I never know which people say, in all seriousness.
Database.
Database, okay. I had a bold coach once who said database and it really threw me.
I love it. And I'm going to put
Perfect, okay.
Jessica's in here as well. Okay. My email and Jessica's email is both in there because she would be able to send you anything that you would need.
And Jessica is your admin?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Perfect. Lauren, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciate you being on, and I greatly appreciate all of you listeners, and you all have a great rest of your sunny Tuesday.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.